Now, this one I'm very excited about. I have very optimistic feelings for Arknights Endfield. As you guys know, I played Arknights for a very long time until I had some difficulties with the developers, as well as some of the official representatives of the game. But I am excited to get back into Arknights Endfield. A certain cautiousness I'm attempting to display because it is most likely the most tedious gacha that will be out on the platform to date. With the base system and everything you need to set up is a lot of tedium. But the question is it worth it once you've gotten through all that? And that's something that I want to decide when I've gotten there. But I know my homie Genizad's already played like 200 hours, and I'm curious what his opinion is.
Tower defense gacha game released in 2019, renowned for its strategy, top-tier art, amazing music.
And as the #1 content creator for Arknights, and second place wasn't even fucking close, I will be the judge, jury, and executioner of this game. And I will make sure to inform everybody of how good or how bad it truly is. However, I'm going to give you guys a heads up. I think the game's going to be at least an 8 out of 10, and I am cautiously optimistic.
And helping spawn the evil Voldemort.
Did we really have to do that? You can't mention Arknights in 2025 without mentioning me in the fucking videos, man. It is impossible. 5 years, and I'm still in Arknights community's head rent fucking free, brother. It is insane.
I also never played it, but we're here to
And I love it.
talk about the brand new game Arknights Endfield that's currently in beta and I've played a bunch of. Initially, the game had previous betas with not really great reception, but this recent
I played the alpha. Little known fact, the company themselves invited me to play the alpha. If you don't believe me, type in Tectone plays Arknights Endfield alpha, and it'll pop up on more Tectone. I didn't upload it to my main channel because I thought it'd be funny to pretend like I couldn't get access. Feel free to check that out. The first alpha was fucking terrible. However, the first beta was fantastic. A lot of changes that I wanted and requested, they implemented, and I think the game is in a much healthier state now.
one had huge redesigns of core gameplay mechanics with a lot of new things to talk about and possibly one of the most unique gacha games ever made.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It doesn't really have any real competition in the space. There also appears to be
it feels nothing like Genshin. It feels nothing like anything else. I'll still call it the Genshin killer because it's funny and it makes people mad, but it's mainly just a joke. The game feels more like Xenoblade Chronicles than it does Breath of the Wild, so there's not really anything else like it in the gacha space.
a ton of confusion around the gameplay and the gacha systems. So I really want to go over everything and why this game has potential to be one of the best gacha games of the modern era, possibly even breaking outside of the genre. And as always,
I agree. And also the gacha system, and let me explain it to you. The gacha system is amazing if you're free to play or a low spender. It's bad if you're a dolphin or a whale, which I think is fine, to be honest.
if you enjoy this video, consider subscribing to the
Because
channel.
if you got
I'll be
money,
making more
then
videos like
fuck
this
it, bro.
one, or go to twitch.tv/Genocide. Many will look at Arknights Endfield and either think of Genshin Impact or Satisfactory, but in reality,
Yes.
while having many elements of the
Factorio.
two, it feels much closer to an older style JRPG like a
Xenoblade.
Tales game or Xenoblade. Also, this game is way less forgiving than most in combat, and building doesn't hold your hand all the time, which is
Yeah, the dodging. So the issue with the dodging in this game is that usually you'd think, shing, dodge. You don't do that. In this game, it goes, shing, dodge. And so that's what's making a lot of people think that this game is harder than it actually is because every other game, it goes shing, dodge. Whereas in this game, it goes shing, dodge. And it does feel very good once you get the swing of things, but it is very odd when you get into it for the first time.
a welcome change among all these gachas that treat you like you're on life support. It feels as though it's a game first and a gacha second, so let's talk about multiple aspects of the game.
And that's been great because games like Limbus Company, Wuthering Waves, and now Arknights Endfield are also saying, this isn't a gacha game, this is a game with gacha in it. And I really enjoy that.
What it does right and wrong. Also, I can't really rate the story all that well, other than the start was very good until you meet this guy named Albert or Andre or
He ruins
something
the game.
who turned the pace into mud and caused me to
Terrible.
skip everything past that because I just wanted to play the game. Let's
Fucking
start
terrible.
with the visuals. These completely blow every other gacha game away. I'm not really sure what else to say. I never played base Arknights before, but even with its incredible art and music, its in-game models
In case you ever didn't play Arknights and you're wondering if you missed anything, just go play Plants vs. Zombies. Yeah, it's like Arknights, but it actually has a good story and it's fun to play. Yeah, and it's better. in all aspects. So you're not really missing much. PVZ on Steam, paid $2, you get the whole game. Yeah, go ahead and play it whenever, man. It's great.
Has always kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Personally, visuals are not everything in a game, but these elevate the game far above the casual gacha slop to look like a real
or
AAA
Bloons
game.
Tower
Look at your
Defense
favorite
6.
gacha. Now look at me. The background visuals, characters, and UI are all insanely good looking and polished. The world is crazy to look at, and we barely had any options to even customize during the beta. The characters look amazing, and you can even see the detail on all of their clothing and more.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Yvonne's ass has more pixels than the entirety of Ocarina of Time.
Also, Gilberta is one of the most adorable characters I've ever seen, and if you don't agree with me now, you will.
She's 5 years old, Genocide! You're a pedophile!
Every character has a lot of movement and personality, and even in the menu, the characters have tons of motion. Apparently, we're the only human and everyone else is part animal, making me feel like I'm at a furry convention or something, but their designs are actually really good. However, some of the visual effects also go a bit crazy and cover too much of the screen sometimes during combat, becoming hard to see, even if they are great, and the bass boost on explosions sends my headphones into orbit.
Yeah, they're sick.
Let's talk about the combat. I'm gonna be honest. If you came here looking for Devil May Cry combat or something, you're gonna be disappointed.
Just play Woo-Wah for that.
The game's combat feels like it's from the early 2000s, way before anyone watching this was born, but in a good way. The game uses an action combat system with all 4 of your characters fighting together, so you don't feel lonely playing a gacha in your dark, cold room. You can freely swap between characters at any time, and everyone shares skill points to use abilities.
I'm never alone as long as I have my waifus.
Stuck in place, and also aren't able to change your attack direction, which I feel they could probably smoothen out. However, on the flip side, enemies also aren't fast and have very telegraphed
These characters, they're more than characters. They're my friends!
attacks. This causes you to have to make choices of when to attack and position right, and your dodge also can save you.
It actually
but it's
is
one of
pretty
the most
difficult.
Unforgiving dodges I've ever used in a game with very few iframes, and
Very
people
few.
are definitely gonna complain.
Almost none.
Endfield also has an elemental reaction system, which is neat, but more importantly, a combo system with every character having different activation conditions. This makes team building really cool, as future characters can enable team comps with different elements and combo pieces. However, it feels like you never have enough skill points or ults when you want them, as the regen is insanely slow without specific generators.
Yeah, they're probably going to fix that by leveling up or certain units being OP as shit or certain sets.
The most interesting part of the combat, by far, was the bosses. Even the first boss had more mechanics than the average gacha mid-game boss, with the second and third really impressing me when you fight the higher levels of them, making it feel like an actual boss fight made by someone who enjoys games, rather than a boardroom of ugly bastards who only want your wallet and know nothing about gameplay. Let's talk about the build. You'll either love it or you'll hate it. It can take some time to—
Hey guys, so we need to design a boss. How do we make it good? Ideas? What if we make it faster and more fluid? No. What if we add a new environmental effect, which brings the surrounding environment to life to where we can beat the boss in different ways that we normally wouldn't? No, that wouldn't work. What if we gave the boss 10 million more HP? Now you're talking my language!
To learn, but once you get into it, you'll realize you lost 100 hours of time perfecting your base and making it efficient. Ignoring food, sleep, the only thing that matters is the machine. I don't know why, but tutorials for building are actually found around the map with these tube men waving around above them. Yes, you have to find the tutorials, which is kind of odd. However, they also give you skill points to unlock the new tech. The base construction relates to everything in the game, because exploration leads to resources, gearing is from crafting those resources, crafting leads to raising the area level for more drops, for more resources, crafting leads—
Oh, I thought that said EDP. And I was about to say, ladies and gentlemen, free cupcakes.
to raising the area level for more drops, for more resources, and it goes on and on. It's so integral, they need to add blueprints either player made or in-game to save players, or some people are gonna get filtered so insanely hard. Gacha players are barely literate, or even know what the word means, so visual—
Dude, I can't tell you how funny it was getting praise from the Limbus Company community because I have the ability to read. They're like, holy shit, this guy's a genius. He actually reads the game. It is wild, bro. It is wild.
Marks for where to build would help immensely with unoptimal but still functional build paths just to get basic things up and running for most players. As a side note, my brain is dented and some puzzles took me forever, which I actually enjoyed having to learn.
That's okay, man.
And we don't look at the answers. Because where the hell's the fun in that, bud?
An offshoot of all this building is the gearing, which you actually just make off of farmed
The context of the joke is that there was a streamer called Pirate Software that allegedly was pre-playing puzzle games in advance. That way he could go live and do the puzzles on stream and look really smart. Allegedly. Allegedly.
Materials rather than farming enemies. The more you progress your base, the better gear you make, and none of them have random substats. You craft, and that's it. But you can't escape that easily. They do have essences that drop off enemies while exploring, and these are the real grind with random affixes. However, you can combine them, and you also only need one per character, so we'll see how that pans out. Speaking of exploration, players can't climb, they can't jump twice, and they don't have a glider. This is not Genshin, it isn't Wuthering Waves. I see so many players comparing them, but this game doesn't feel anything like it. It's much more.
I will admit, the no glider, no double jump makes me want to kill myself. But then again, a lot of things these days do.
More grounded. It's like if you compared Skyrim to World of Warcraft just because both have open world and combat.
Yeah,
exploration in the game definitely feels unique for a gacha and feels more like a single player standard JRPG running around with your party and discovering puzzles and enemies. But more importantly, it lets you do something very interesting. Destroy the environment with giant towers shaping the entire world to your very own sweatshop. For some reason, electrical towers only have 80 meters of cable, which as an American, I don't even understand what that means, but you have to spam them everywhere. And by the time you set up a few zip lines, at least 50 species are extinct and the planet's 5 degrees warmer. However, it's really cool to actually change the landscape and exciting every time you find new patches of minerals to mine and connect the electricity and later even use water tubing. This solves one of the biggest issues I have with exploration in these games. While normally you just explore for gacha currency and nothing else, in this game there are actual real rewards. Something tangible you want to look for and obtain. Rare resources, which leads to more gameplay of adding it to the factory line. You aren't ignoring the world and gathering the money, you're directly interacting with it and completely obliterating every semblance of natural beauty as you build 100 zip lines so you never need to walk again. Isn't that nice? Recommendation, add an endgame grind from bosses for bike materials to craft and let us ride around in a motorcycle. It'd be great. Now let's talk about the hotly debated topic of the gacha system.
Here's the objective truth. If you disagree with this, you're dumb. It's great for free to play and low spenders. It's bad for whales. Who cares?
In my opinion, everyone who's saying it's bad has not played the game and is clueless. It's much better than people are led to believe. Let me explain why. It's a 0.8% 6-star pull rate and has a 50-50 system, which sounds like total trash at first to me. The pity is 80 with a soft pity around 65, I believe. After losing pity, at 120 pulls total on the banner, you automatically get the 6-star. Pity does carry over. However, once the 50-50 is lost, the progress towards the 120 pity is not. This caused a ton of controversy, but I'll be honest, don't pull when you aren't ready to go all in. That's the point of the pity. Everyone's become pretty Genshin pilled and pulls non-stop on every banner, but most gachas don't have the pity carry over, and while it sucks, people need to have some self-control in this game. People need to use the pity to their advantage, and while you may disagree, the pull income seems really good to offset this. Every month from only the daily and weeklies, gained currency you get is about 40 pulls, which is huge. No stories, side quests, or events included. Also, did I mention the banner characters so far go to the standard banner after their run ends? Yeah, any of this could change on release, but as it is, seems pretty good. Now it's the weapon banner. It's crazy.
Every character that goes off of premium should always be put into standard. And any company that doesn't do that, the reason why they're doing that is so that way they can give you pulls that they know will equate to only mediocre units. Because they want you to lose where they can still have the guise of, look how many free pulls we give you. It's a joke. And to make FOMO even worse.
Crazy. Different currency than character pulls, 40 pulls per 6-star, but it's a 25.75 of the one you want. You get currency from pulling the character banner, but also from the weekly endgame, giving you about 20 pulls a week automatically, which sounds like a lot. Two 6-star weapons a month for free, and also having a 4% pull rate for a 6-star. Honestly, players are going to be flooded with weapons. Moving past the gacha, let's talk about the endgame. Something gachas don't like to have. After all the building of characters, the building of weapons, the building of buildings, you finally have a strong setup and roster. Now what? Honestly, the game's really lacking in this. In a classic JRPG, you would have the final boss and finish the game. Maybe go to New Game Plus, but this is a live service game. Currently, they only have a roguelike mode that, while is fun, isn't going to keep your interest for a super long time. It can feel a bit tedious, however the boss fights are fun and interactive. I find this a bit disappointing and hope they expand upon this before release. Now,
they won't. Hey, welcome to Gacha games, little pup. Endgame doesn't exist. Play it for the story, play it for the gameplay, walk around, collect your free resources. That endgame that you want will never come.
One thing I want to address is when you
Because once the player feels like they beat the game, then they'll quit the game. But if the player still thinks, oh, it's coming, they ain't gonna quit. But here's the trick, it's never coming.
combine all the facets of not needing to farm gear, having your factory work while offline, having a stamina system that takes a day and a half to
The end game of every gacha game is quitting the game.
having a fairly good gacha system allowing you to build around the world to make a permanent mark, top tier graphics, and not having everything locked behind stamina, it starts to sound like a real game that isn't held back by the usual fear of missing out and traps gacha games do to force your full attention non-stop. We couldn't pay money in the beta, but the game felt very well thought out with a clear vision of what they wanted, and I hope they keep it that way. Overall, the game is incredibly strong in many areas, but does have some issues that hopefully iron out before release, and I believe they have time because no other gacha on the horizon really competes with this game because it strays completely from the normal formula and will attract a different audience. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks a bunch for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more, and I hope to see you next time.
Great video, man. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, with how well that was edited. Fucking top tier react video, man. Yo, boys. Go to Jenazad's channel and give Cat Guy, UI Guy, a fucking sub, dude, and a like. That was a great fucking video. I mean, my thing with Arknights is, we will see. My biggest hurdle is, can I get over the Factorio gameplay, or will it be too much for my 31-year-old brain to want to comprehend? We will wait and see, but I'm painfully optimistic.